It is the morning of November 9th, 2018, and here we are back at the KUKUI nut tree. So I've had this guy for quite a while now, 2 or 3 months, and about a month ago, I didn't really notice too much significant growth on this KUKUI nut tree. So when I first had this guy, he was about maybe 4 or 5 inches, and he had only maybe 1 leaf. He was just a little sprout that came out, and I jumped out and grabbed him, brought him home, and decided to pot him because where he was at high risk of being just mowed over, and I couldn't let that happen. I took the opportunity to bring it back home with me, and as you can see, it has grown significantly even since the last update. So the stem or the trunk has gotten pretty thick. All the leaves are towards the top now because I cut the leaves around the bottom. So starting from here on down, I just took all those leaves off. So I took maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first 4 leaves down here in this area were small leaves. So I took 4 big leaves. Leaves are about this size, and 4 small leaves, which were, I guess, about this size down at the bottom here. I didn't cut too close to the trunk so that I don't scar the trunk. I just kind of cut out here, right about here, and the rest of the stem just kind of, the rest of the leaf stem just kind of died and fell off. So no damage to the tree at all. I did that in an effort to, I guess, expect it to come up a little further on the top, which it did, but not so much as it got thicker at the bottom. So this tree is, I would assume, growth, it's about 3 feet tall now, but I would assume that growth isn't as fast as it was in the beginning because this pot might just be too small for it already. So I'll be transplanting this KUKUI nut here today. All right, guys, so I've got the pot that I'm going to be transplanting it into right here. So as you can see, the depth of the pot is about the same. Keep in mind that I've never done this before, but it's all worth trying. I don't think transplanting it into a pot with the same depth but a greater width, it's going to affect the plant too much, but we'll see in time. I did want to transplant it into a pot that's this big and leave it there for a couple months, or at least 8 months to a year, but I don't have these pots on hand right now. However, I do want to do the transplant today so that this KUKUI nut could get more nutrients down there, because as you can see, the trees is fairly big for this pot, and I would assume the roots want to stretch out instead of just kind of get bunched up in that small pot. I'm going to go ahead and take the KUKUI nut plant out. I'm going to water it pretty good. I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to show you guys how it looks before I put it into this pot. Okay, so I've got it out of the pot here, and here's what the root system looks like. So it's a pretty good root system. I don't think it was too bad for the pot it was in. Probably could have left it there maybe another month and a half, but like I said, I didn't really notice too much more significant growth, and it's not like I'm trying to rush this plant to grow, but I don't want to stunt its growth either. So we're gonna go ahead and transplant it into this pot, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up by its trunk and just set it into this pot, and so you guys can see just how much more space it's got. right, so there we go there. So you can see it's got a lot more space around it for those roots to kind of stretch out a little further. It's about at the depth where I want it already. This will shrink when I water it down, so this will drop a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with dirt, and we'll go ahead and water it down. I'll fill it up with dirt, and I'll start back up when right before I water it. So there we go. I'm going to water it now. This will shrink throughout the day. All the soil that I added, it will shrink down after this watering. And I'm going to leave it there for about half the day before I come out and add some more soil here on the side, because you're going to see here that it's going to shrink down on the sides. I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to give it a pretty good watering, and I'm going to leave it there. See, some of the roots are kind of exposed right there, and I really want to cover that up. So that's it. That's the transplantation of the kukui nut tree from that smaller pot there into the bigger pot here. We're gonna go ahead and give it a day and see how it looks at the end of the day. I don't think it should be too bad. It should handle that transplant too bad. I actually think the plant would be a lot happier in this pot. This wouldn't be the last transplant I have it in though. I think one more transplant, and then I'll leave this kukui nut tree to grow to a pretty good size. I might actually leave it in here until it grows to about maybe 5 feet here in this pot, and we'll see how that goes.